Mexico, a global business perspective. General information about Mexico. Mexico is located in the southern part of North America. To the north, it shares a border with us, the United States. To the southeast, it shares a border with Guatemala and Belize. Mexico City is the capital and is located in the south, and the population is around 129 million, which is about half of the US. So some economic forces: per capita income in 2023 was calculated as 13,790 US dollars. Economic activities in Mexico mostly include manufacturing. So a lot of US based companies have factories in Mexico. There's an abundance of natural resources in fuels such as natural gas and oil, and metals such as zinc and gold. And tourism, it's pretty obvious the US, we like to tour over there in Mexico, in cities such as Mexico City, as I said before, and Cancun. Economic growth: Mexico performed better than most of Latin America, with a growth in 2024 to 2022 to 2024 at a rate of 1.5%. The unemployment rate has been steadily going down, with the lowest in recent years being in 2023. The significance to the U.S. Mexico is one of our biggest trading partners. I will touch more on that later in the slides, but in being one of the biggest trading partners, it allows for a huge market potential with proper advertising. So, some of the cultural forces in Mexico: Catholicism is the reigning religion in the country. The Virgin of Guadalupe is one of the most revered figures in general in Mexico. And while Catholicism is the leading religion, there is a lot of traditional celebrations from ancient times, from the Mayans and Aztecs, that people still practice today. Family: this is one of the biggest aspects, I would say the biggest aspect, sorry, that um, Mexicans use in their business. So, first and foremost, a lot of recommendations for business is done through recommendation from either a family member or a friend of a family member. And business is treated as a family. So, for example, initial screenings to see how you are in a business, a lot of times that might be the first initial meeting that you have, and it won't go further than that. And also, if you are going on behalf of a company in Mexico, you're not seen as going on behalf of a company or a representative. You are seen as a person trying to come into the family to make business with the family and to get to know the family, rather than just using them for a way to get more money. Um, this family aspect ties a lot with physical affection as well. So, greetings and goodbyes involve a lot of hugging and kissing on the cheek. There's less personal space than in the US over there in Mexico. So, a lot of contact is done in a lot closer quarters, and there's a lot more handshaking, hugging, and just talking close face to face. And a lot of Mexicans like using this face to face. That is their preferred method of contact. So when can be, they will choose in person meetings over anything else. But if you need to speak to them in another way, they would prefer video call or like a phone call rather than just an email or a text. Seniority plays a huge part in business as well as the command chain. So Mexico is a country with a high power distance of a score of 81. Mexico is ran from a top-down approach, and titles are important in this top-down approach. So people are referred to as Senora, Senor, Dona, Don, which is what is the equivalent to boss over here in the U.S. And they must obey orders, and this sometimes causes a lot of issues because, for example, if they're asking for a question that you don't necessarily have a solution for right away, you still need to provide a solution um, pretty much almost immediately, because if not, they will see you as lower and they won't respect you as much. So, the political and legal forces in Mexico: Mexico is a federal republic. Currently, Mexico's political climate is under a lot of scrutiny for various reasons. One of this being Chinese relations. So Mexico has been allowing a lot more Chinese manufacturing into the country, and this is upsetting both the US and Canada for obvious reasons, um, as well as having a lot of different policy changes with Donald Trump ever since he's been reelected into office. So it's been kind of tricky in the current state over there in Mexico. A lot of these rules in regards to business are outlined in the USMCA, which is formerly NAFTA. This agreement outlines things regarding exports on tariffs of goods, intellectual property rights, anti corruption laws, labor laws that are practiced in all three countries. So, in all, marketing in Mexico, first and foremost, should be related to traditional family values and things that paint a product to be a more collective use rather than just individual. Um, for example, if you are to market toothpaste, such as the country project we are doing in the class, you wouldn't just market the toothpaste as being something for one person to brush their teeth. It would be more of, hey, the kids can use this, the adults can use this, everybody in the family can use this because it is going to do good in making everybody in the family healthy with nice pearly whites. That would be more effective than rather just saying, like, hey, look at how nice my teeth can be. Um, I personally would expand or recommend expansion into Mexico, especially from the USA, as there is policies from the countries, both countries has agreement, and unlike other countries, Mexico has the infrastructure and base already set in their countries, as opposed to a lot of other Latin countries. So rather than having to focus on those things and worry about if there's any plants or any area for you to even start production, you can kind of circumnavigate all of that because it's already been settled and really start focusing on the production side and marketing side and getting stuff into the market.